Hello, my name is Alani Lacasi, and today I'm going to be discussing the glenohumeral joint, which is also known as your shoulder joint. So your glenohumeral joint is a synovial joint, and it is a ball and socket joint, which means it's multi-axial. And the ball and socket joint is created because the head of the humerus articulates with the glenoid cavity of the scapula, which I will show you in another image later on. Here we have an image of the anterior view of the glenohumeral joint. So here we have these ligaments, your glenohumeral ligaments, and behind that is where the head of the humerus would actually come into contact with the glenoid cavity of your scapula, which would create your joint. Here we have the tendon of the biceps brachii, which is what allows you to use your bicep muscle and move your arm. And then here we have all the different ligaments that attach all the different pieces of the joint, because it has multiple bones that create this joint, that help to create and stabilize this joint. So for example, here we have our coracohumeral ligament. So this attaches the head of the humerus to the coracoid process. Here we have our coracoacromial ligament, our acromial clavicular ligament, coracoclavicular ligament, and here is a cut version, so it would be longer in real life, but here it's cut for the image. Here's a tendon of supraspinatus muscle, which is also known as your rotator cuff. Because your glenohumeral joint is multi-axial, it doesn't have as much stability as other joints. And the ligaments in this case don't necessarily add stability or help give your joint stability, but you would get that stability from the rotator cuff, which is why they say it's very important to make sure the rotator cuff is always strong. Here we have the subacromial bursa. So this cushions your rotator cuff muscles, and that's what helps you be able to lift your arm overhead. So in this image, you have a better view of the head of the humerus actually articulating with the glenoid cavity of the scapula, as you see here highlighted in green. So that's what creates the ball and socket joint. And here you can see that it's multi-axial, so it revolves around the X, Y, and Z axes. And because of this, that's why our arm, we're able to move it in flexion. So for example, you would lift it up, extension, you can lift it, you can move it backwards, and then you can do abduction, so lift your arm away from your body, and adduction, so bring it back to your body. You also have the range of motion to do circumduction, so you can lift your arm in a circle. And we can also elevate and depress our shoulders. So if we elevate it, we bring our shoulders towards our ears. And if we depress them, we bring them back down.